Welcome back to another episode of the Organizedpreneur Podcast. I am your host, Aldreama Harper, your operations mentor, fractional COO, and efficiency architect. And so we are having a very real conversation about your finances today. This is really going to hit home for you because when we talk about your pricing, when we talk about how you value yourself as a CEO, I believe that this is something that's more common than not. Okay. So recently I had a conversation or a call with my client, one on our one-on-one session. And so um, she's currently participating in a Goldman Sachs business program, right? And she had some massive aha moments that she wanted to share with me about her pricing, about her team, about her own paycheck. And I actually got her permission to share these lessons with you. So I hope this is very, helpful. It was very helpful for both of us as we were in this conversation about it. She's been a longtime client of mine. She actually launched her business after going through a decluttering challenge about 3 years ago, and she launched a business. It was not her intention, but she launched her business. Um, and she now has a very, very successful high level services that she offers her clients, which are very high level as well. So let's just get into it, okay? So we're often taught that we need a beautifully designed, complex pricing tier to land high level clients. Well, guess what? That is not always the case, right? And so my client who has a major discovery call that was coming up prior to our conversation with a potential client, right? And so instead of sending that intimidating, highly produced pricing deck, right, she realized that she could send a very simple, rough draft list of services via email, and that was far more effective than what she and I had originally discussed. And so what that tells you, what that tells me, and what it even told her was that you have to do what feels right for you in your business, right? And so sending out that rough draft list of services for her was far more effective. It felt less intimidating. It felt less intimidating to the prospect, and it opened the door for a real conversation that she actually ended up having rather than a rigid menu. And so that is the lesson from that. Number one is that do what feels natural for you to do. You don't have to stick to some rigid, type of checklist, or if it doesn't feel right for you, do what feels right and natural for you and not forced. That is the lesson. So the second thing, so there's a few lessons that I'm going to share with you. So that was the first thing, right? So the next thing was that she actually had a very sobering conversation with her tax preparer. This is really going to be helpful for all that's listening to this episode. And so she had a very sobering conversation with her tax preparer. Her tax preparer actually pointed out a massive, massive flaw in her operations. The fact that she was paying herself less than what she was paying her staff. She was paying herself too little. And she told me, she said, that was an eye opener. She realized that by not paying herself first, she was subconsciously signaling to herself that she didn't truly value herself or her role in her business. That was huge. That was huge for her. And I know that that could potentially be something huge for you if you have a staff, because a lot of times we don't realize that we are subconsciously devaluing ourselves. It's a signal that we are devaluing ourselves and our role in terms of what we do. It may not look like the next person. Our business may not look like the next person, even if we're doing the same things. Don't devalue yourself. And so she actually used AI, because she and I always talk about, some operations, some things that she needs to use in her business. She used AI to map out a better financial structure. And the golden rule is pay yourself. Pay yourself first, then allocate the tasks, or allocate for taxes, excuse me, and fund your operations expenses. So let me say that one more time. Pay yourself, allocate for taxes, and then fund your operational expenses, which includes the team pay. And so, as your operations mentor, I also highly recommend you asking your accountant whether it is more beneficial for your specific business to structure to pay yourself as a W 2 or as a 1099 operator or contractor, right? Because this is the disclaimer: I am not a tax professional. Okay, that's the disclaimer. And so you would definitely want to seek out your tax professional first, right? But in that whole conversation, I'm so excited for her that she realized that she doesn't have to devalue herself and her role as a business owner. And so it's always going to show up somewhere, whether it's how you pay yourself or how you are um, structuring your business or your pricing. It's going to show up somewhere if you are devaluing yourself. This is a very, very important lesson here. And so, if you're listening or watching this episode, I do highly recommend that you would seek a professional tax advisor and structure your business accordingly. Okay? All right. So, valuing yourself and your paycheck is the second lesson. All right? Here's the last lesson. So, you cannot scale by doing it all yourself. My client is currently hiring a marketing contractor to fill in the gaps. She realized that she doesn't have those skill set, and she didn't have anyone on her team that had those particular skill sets, right? Specifically in marketing communications. So she's intentionally building what she calls a Swiss Army knife team, a lean group of people who can carry the exact tools and the skills that she lacks. This was massive for her. I'm so glad that she gave me permission to share this with you all, because I believe that it will resonate. Some of these things will absolutely resonate with you. And I would say if you can afford a team, then go ahead and look at your business from that perspective so that you can make strategic choices in your business. You don't have to start out that way, right? But you can plan for it. She made a strategic choice. And while she really does love working with, community groups, she actually realized in our conversation that she already had a niche, and that was the high level executives. And in our conversation, I pointed that out to her. She's focusing her energy, the fact that she's focusing her energy on those executive level clients is going to really pay off for her because they can pay the highest rates, and that's going to sustain her business. So I hope this was very helpful for you. If your operations is a mess, whether you are a service based entrepreneur, whether you're a podcaster, and your operations are lacking, if you're frustrated with the rising cost of softwares, like one of the questions that my client also had was about QuickBooks, and a lot of people use it. I'm not saying that you should or you shouldn't. I'm not recommending one or the other. But what I am saying is that you should always look for alternatives and simplify your operations. Okay? Stop trying to untangle all of this alone because it can be overwhelming. Podcasting has a lot of moving parts. Service-based businesses have a lot of moving parts. And so, if that's you and you're listening and anything that I've said resonated with you, then I invite you to a call with me. We can do a simple operation audit, and which is all designed to help you to get your business and your podcast running decently and in order. Thank you so much for listening. Again, I hope this resonated with you, and I hope to see you on a call very shortly. Have an amazing day.